Hello, I'm Dr. Robert Weaver. You can call me Buck, but I'm a neuropsychologist and director of the Weaver Center in Wayland, Massachusetts. And I've always appreciated people getting back to me with emails and questions and so on and so forth. I love the field of knowing attention deficit disorders and the concomitant difficulties with emotions and productivity and so on and so forth. So please don't hesitate to contact me or to send me an email at weavercenter.org. Now, I'll remind you again that I'm a mover, I'm a shaker. I'm really sorry as part of my attention deficit, even though I'm on medicine. It's one of the things that's kind of difficult to pay attention to stop moving, because then I can't think. If I'm moving, I can think. So I apologize, and if it makes you a little bit seasick, don't hesitate to just listen. Today's topic has come up many times recently, and that's about ADHD and motherhood, being a mom and having trouble with organizing and prioritizing and getting things done and knowing how long things take and being to places on time and all of these really impactful difficulties that are related to having ADHD. So the first thing that I'll say about it is that for many mothers, it's very discouraging, if not depressing, on a daily basis that one might have a list, one might need to get a bunch of things done. There might be a list about everything from what to do and when to do with each of the kids that you might have, and shopping and taking care of different responsibilities that one feels really needs to and want to get done. So the first thing that I always try to remind moms about is that attention deficit and executive function issues in terms of organizing and planning and prioritizing and getting things done is a disability. And it's something that, as much as we would like to be more efficient and effective and on top of things and so on and so forth, this really makes our desires to be more efficient and effective very compromised at times. And so it's really important to be able to adjust to and know that part of the problems is not being able, not willing, but not being able to be efficient and effective and to get things done, and therefore to feel overwhelmed, feel very badly in terms of self-confidence and self-esteem, knowing that you're bright and capable and able to do so many wonderful things, and the time that it takes to get things done, or what you expect, or how you predict it, what you need to pay attention to, and when there's multiple things that need to be done, being overwhelmed, sometime to the point of being unable to even function for a little while. It's so hard. Okay? So it's really important to know that this is something that's very important, to understand yourself, that it's not your fault. It's never been your fault, never will be your fault. This is the nature and the degree of the neurochemical and structural parts of our frontal being, mostly, that makes us wonderful in many ways. I mean, terrific, bright, capable, articulate, caring, loving. I mean, the attributes of moms that we work with are just fantastic people, but feel like this Achilles heel is like taking them down every single day. So the first thing is to realize that this is not one's fault. The second thing that I talk about is, how do you describe to other people that just don't understand why you're not doing things that you need to be doing at the time you need to be doing it and where you need to be doing it? What is your problem, right? And so one of the things that I say that is very important to be able to talk about and communicate what you say to people about this. The first thing that I always encourage people to say is to say, what I'm going to talk to you about this is not an excuse. My difficulties with organization is not an excuse. It's very important that you understand what I struggle with, because we know that the more someone understands really anything, the less people react to it. The more people understand, the more they are much more patient and much less critical. So what I encourage people to say is, I have a problem with organizing and prioritizing things. I'm not efficient at that. And it's part of ADHD that I have and that I've struggled with for a long time. And I just want you to understand that none of these difficulties, none of them, zero, have to do with being intentionally inefficient, late, time problems, organization problems, completing things, getting started on things. None of that has to do with being willful or intentional. And it's important for those moms among us to understand why people are so critical of us. And the reason for that is that if other people that don't have this problem were doing what we are doing, which is to be late or not organized or not have the right stuff with us and so on and so forth, if that person that doesn't have this was like that, they would literally have to do that on purpose, right? They just don't do those things, right? So, of course, they take those symptoms, right, and they project what they only know, which is, wow, if that person's doing that stuff, they obviously don't care. They're not motivated or whatever, because they don't have any other explanation. So when you are able to provide an explanation, you say that my difficulties have nothing to do with intention. If I could do anything, I'd love to have more ability to be organized, productive, and timely. But I am not able. It's not that I'm not willing, it's that I'm not able, and that this is really, really frustrating. And I want to re-emphasize the fact that I'm not excusing myself. I understand the responsibilities. I understand the way people otherwise operate, but I'm not able to do it that way. So I hope that you'll have some patience with me by knowing that this is a big struggle for me. It's hurtful to me that I can't get things done like everybody else. But that's the nature of this problem. Again, not an excuse, but for understanding this. And it's very, very difficult because for a lifetime, people have assumed that you don't care, you're not interested, you're not motivated, even if they kind of know that that's not like you, because you're so caring and warm and wonderful. Doesn't seem to fit. They don't have another explanation. So soon as they have an explanation, like all humans with all things that frustrate you, the more you understand about it, the less reactive you are, the more understanding you are, and often the more helpful you are. So it's really important to understand that there is a big burden, and it's insidious. The reason it's insidious is because you look so normal. You look so like you're capable and articulate and bright and all those things. I mean, why would you have these problems? It's an Achilles heel, and it's neurologically based, and it's nothing that people have choice over. Now, you can get treatment. There's some very good strategies for this, right? You can have medicine. That can often be very, very helpful. So there's things that you can do about it, right? But it's not likely to totally fix the problem, even though maybe 60 or 70% of the problem could be addressed by having what we have here. We have really excellent organization coaches, right, that are on the phone or on Skype, with people across the world about how to have strategies that work in the moment, that, again, as you've heard me say many times, aren't based on consequences, but ways of structuring, organizing, managing time much more efficiently and much more effectively. But the most important thing is that this is a problem that we need to adjust to more comfortably, so we're not so self-critical, because everybody's critical of us about those things, and then we have trouble explaining it to others. So adjusting to this for moms is really an important thing, and I hope you'll listen to more of these videotapes, because I'd really like to have you feel much, much, much more comfortable and adjusted to having these types of difficulties. Thanks for listening to me. And by all means, please, feedback is great, or other ideas. Robert Weaver, rweaver at weavercenter.org. Thanks very much for listening. Bye-bye.